Let me pull up the mold video, shall we? I gotta see this one. Let's see his opinions on Liberation Day.
Predictions. Yes, I have a handful of predictions. First prediction.
I want to see what he has to say about what he originally said about the tariffs.
Yes, but it would have been tough for a lot of countries. We didn't want to do that. I'd like to see the chart if you have it. Could you bring it up, Howard? This is our great Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick.
Oh, it's bald guy, right? Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, I was going to ban him, but
if you look at that,
who cares?
China, first row. China. 67%. That's
that's really bad.
Charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to it's very windy out here. We didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think
that's reasonable.
In other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset?
Yep. Vietnam.
They will be, because we never charge anybody anything.
Apparently Mexico roached out too.
European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You know, you think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff.
Damn.
Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it. Now we have almost none of it, except the biggest company is coming in. We're going to end up with almost 40%. Lee Zeldin's working to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei, of one of the great companies of the world, actually. They're coming in from Taiwan, and they're going to build one of the biggest plants in the world, maybe the biggest for that. But 64%, we're going to charge them 32%. Japan, very, very tough, great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office, right over there.
Who's that?
Right behind the Resolute desk, or whichever desk they chose. Japan, 46%. They would charge us 46%, and much higher for certain items like cars.
Yeah.
You know, little items like cars. 46%, we're charging them 24%. India, very, very tough. Very, very tough.
We got 12 more years of this, guys.
Prime Minister just left. And he's a great friend.
Yeah, let's make some jokes about how our country is going to become a dictatorship. That's funny.
Friend of mine, but I said, you're a friend of mine, but you're not treating us right. They charge us 52%. You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades. And it was only 7 years ago when I came in, we started with China and charged them. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China in tariffs. And they understood, honestly. President Xi understood. He said, look, I understand. And the other countries, and they all understand. We're going to have to go through a little tough love, maybe, but they all understand. They're ripping us off, and they understood it. Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo, was Shinzo Abe.
Bro.
He was a fantastic man. He was unfortunately taken from us, assassination. But I went to him and I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. Trade is not fair. He said, I know
brought
that.
him up.
I know that.
That's
And
crazy.
he was a great gentleman. He was a fantastic man, but
I wonder
he
if
understood
he saw
immediately
the
what I
memes.
was talking about. I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. He said, I know that. And we worked out a deal, and it would have been a much better deal, but frankly, there were many years left in the deal that was made previous to my getting there, but it was something. If you look at Switzerland, 61% to 31%. Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia. Oh, look at Cambodia, 97%. We're going to bring it down to 49. They made a fortune with the United States of America. United Kingdom, 10%.
Also, with the context that these are not reciprocal tariffs, this is just like, I think it's imports over the deficit. I think. Is it deficit over imports? It's one of the two. So it's literally just we're charging them tariffs because we enjoy the goods that they make. Like the only thing that does is get them to get every single country to stop exporting goods to us. A lot of goods which cannot be replaced easily. I mean, there's this tweet that I think makes fun of it pretty well. I look forward to buying American coffee, bananas, and black pepper. Don't worry, Hawaii just needs to ramp up production of Kona coffee about 1,000 times what they would need to meet current demand. Yeah, they got it. Yeah. And then they've been posting this photo of like shipping coffee from the Hawaii to like the States. $176 for 16 ounces. Or sorry, 2 pounds. Excellent. Good. That's a steal, I think. I think that's a good price for coffee. That seems reasonable.
And we'll go 10%. So
also, did you see that it turns out the calculation is what all the big AI suggests if you want to get debt down fastest, but they ignored the warning at the end about it being dangerous? No, it's fine. You can trust AI totally and completely. Like when Google AI suggestions were telling you to put glue in your pizza.
We'll do the same thing.
Yep.
South Africa, 60%, 30%, and they've got some bad things going on in South Africa. You know, we're paying them.
Yeah. This doesn't even change the fact also that, like, there's countries on this list that don't have any people on them. It's just like an island that has penguins on it. And we're just starting to charge these places 10% flat rate. Because why not?
Billions of dollars, and we cut the funding because
Fuck
a lot
them
of bad
penguins,
things are
dude.
happening
Fuck
in South
them.
Africa. The fake news ought to be looking at
Penguins in herd McDonald Island right now.
that they don't want to report it.
The bad thing is Musk. Say psych right now. Say psych right now, man. It's a bait, right? It's just you're just trolling. You're trolling. You're just baiting me, right?
Brazil,
You're
10%,
baiting
10%.
Come on.
Bangladesh is 74%. So you see what's going on. Pakistan, 58%.
That's a lot.
Sri Lanka, 88%.
That's the second from
So
the
what
bottom.
we're doing is we're taking not the full, we could take the full 88%. Thanks a lot. He's doing a very good job. How's he doing? All right? I think you better take it.
Oh, maybe they're saying the bad thing from South Africa is Elon Musk. Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe that's the joke. In which case, Chatter, you're very funny.
With you. It's not going to last very long. He's going to put it, it's going to follow you down with the wind. I brought a hat just in case it got too windy, but here, would anybody like a hat? I'm not giving it to a cabinet. I'm giving it to the auto workers. Come here.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. This is apparently why an island full of penguins got tariffed. Note that the tariffs are not broken down by country. They're broken down by top-level internet domain. That's why islands that are populated entirely by penguins, the HM domain, and why the Diego Garcia military base are listed. Also why Reunion, RE, Gibraltar, GI, are listed separately from France and UK. They 100% used an LLM to generate this list and didn't catch the mistake because they're all dumb as rocks.
Oh my fucking
Thank you, fellas.
God.
Get it. That's it. That's it.
Man.
They deserve it more than our cabinet. Our
Man.
cabinet has plenty of hats. But you see the numbers. The numbers are so disproportionate. They're so unfair. At the same time, we will establish a minimum baseline tariff of 10%. You notice that on the chart? And that'll be on other countries to help rebuild our economy and to prevent cheating. So we're going to have a minimum of cheating, and we're going to be very severe on the people that at the gate that watch the tariffs and watch the product coming in, because there's been a lot of bad things happening at the gate because the money is so enormous that you're talking about. There's never been probably anything like it in terms of the enormity, and there are a lot of bad things happen at the people that do the check-in, and they're looking at 10-year
Ah, yes, the tariff gate. The tariff checking in gate.
jail sentences if they do play. We're going to treat them so good, but if they cheat, the repercussions are going to be extremely strong. Foreign nations will finally be asked to pay for the privilege of access to our market, the biggest market in the world. We're right now the biggest market in the world. We had a great country 4 years ago in terms of the economics. We were doubling up on China. We were doing so well. Nobody was going to catch us, but so much of it slipped away over the last 4 years under Biden. I campaigned on this policy throughout last year, and today that promise was made, and it was also a promise, as you know, that was kept. Promises made, promises kept.
He did say he was going to do it.
To any company that objects to our common sense reciprocal tariffs, again, reciprocal, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
And I call this kind reciprocal. This is not full reciprocal. This is kind reciprocal. But what we do is we cut it in half. We charge them. My answer is very simple if they complain. If you want your tariff rate to be zero, then you build your product right here in America, because there is no tariff if you build your plant, your product in America. And we've seen companies coming in like we've never seen before. Likewise to all of the foreign presidents.
Meanwhile, most recently, BMW is most likely going to pull its production from the US because it's just not worth it to send their engines here for manufacturing and then send them back, given the tariffs. So like we've at least lost some jobs for companies that like to import to factories that are here and then export. Yay!
Presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, ambassadors, and everyone else who will soon be calling to ask for exemptions from these tariffs. I say, terminate your own tariffs, drop your barriers, don't manipulate your currencies. They manipulate their currencies like nobody can even believe, which is a bad...
BMW's woke anyways. You're right. No, you're right, and you should say it. Terminate your own tariffs. The tariffs that don't currently exist. Like...
bad thing and very devastating to us. And start buying tens of billions of dollars of American...
Stellantis also just laid off a bunch of people as well. Barriers are so bad in Canada, we can barely trade effectively internally. Reuters said that UK's Jaguar Land Rover is going to pause its shipment to the US over tariffs. Woo, yeah! This is so good. I heard that BMW stands for Black Migrant Women, aka DEI. Oh my god, we have to get it out now.
American goods, tariffs give our country protection against those that would do us economic harm. And many people were looking to do us economic harm. Maybe not so... obviously, but they were doing tremendous economic harm. But even more importantly, they will give us growth. These tariffs are going to give us growth like you haven't seen before. And it'll be something very special to watch. I am so looking forward. And Brian, it's going to happen even faster than you said. You know, you might say, but it's already started. It's already started.
I've spent most of my career in the plants around Detroit. Expect to see layoffs at suppliers around 3 to 4 months, and the big 3 shortly after.
Work's already begun on plants all around the country, and you see that as before. These are big, rich companies. We have $61 billion started.
Okay, I'm going to assume Asmongold isn't going to say anything for the next however long Trump is talking, and he's just going to say, whoa, that seems reasonable.
Wow.
That's a good one.
So let's skip ahead to where Asmon isn't talking, or sorry, Trump isn't talking anymore.
Executive.
Okay, thank you.
So not only is he doing that he said he was going to do, he is doing. And not only is he doing it, but it seems like it is working. Mexico is not doing retaliatory tariffs either. It seems like there's a bunch of countries roaching out with this. They said they were going to do it, but, you know, when it comes down to it, it doesn't happen. And really not that big of a surprise. And Xbox in America, right? Yeah, there's going to be American Xboxes now. That's right. And so there we go. And I'm not surprised about this. I don't think really hard. Trump fixed the Loot Council. Yep, that's right. And that's why Trump won't respect them. Yep, we've been in a recession, for fuck's sake. I feel like you can't make... The thing is that you're not going to be able to like really use the stock market messaging as an effective tool to make people think that these decisions are bad, because most people that are in favor of them don't have stocks to begin with because they don't have the capital. Like, these are people that don't have jobs that are good. They don't have any capital to have in the stock market. So, like, when this perspective value of the company is going down, this isn't going to be relevant to them. What's relevant to them is how much are their groceries, how much is gas, how much are these things. So,
no, whether or not the company you work for goes out of business is relevant to you, because then you won't have a job anymore.
You can make appeals to the stock market, etc., but that's not.
This also doesn't change the fact that so many people have 401ks. Like, huh? What?
Going to really appeal to an average person. I'm telling you guys, that's what it's going to be, right? That's what it's going to be. You're not going to understand it, but if you talk to somebody that's like this, you will. And yeah, Trump is literally taking from the rich and giving jobs to the poor. Well, we'll see what happens.
It's like, you don't understand like how hard it is for me to like come to terms with the fact that these are real people. Like, I don't know what to do when I see stuff like this. When I see these type of hawks. Are you happy you voted for Trump? Yes, and I was buying a Switch too, but now that they made it a political thing, I'm out. Wait, who made this a political thing? Nintendo just did ... Didn't you read the article? Like, what? What do you say to someone like this? What do you say to someone like this? What do you say? Open the skulls. Or like this person. In theory, how fast could Nintendo move production of hardware to Ohio? 2 to 3 months? Like, what do you... I don't know what to do. We really have to share a society with people who neither understand how things work nor are willing to learn. I just checked. My 401k has lost $4,000 since last month. That's actually good. You're just a hater because you hate Trump. Okay?
Right, but let me go back. He can announce anything and people would hate it. I mean, some people would, right? I mean, I don't know about everybody, but like there definitely are some people that would get mad. But yeah, that's kind of what I think is going to happen, and it's going to continue happening too. So dumb, tariffs are a regressive tax. Well, then why are the other countries doing it to us?
They're not. They're just importing a lot of goods to the US at a cheaper cost than what it would take for us to make it here. And in some instances, because we can't make it here. Like, we have one state that has a tropical enough climate to grow things like coffee beans or to grow like bananas. And we cannot ramp up production in Hawaii to the point where we can meet every American's desires and needs for coffee. Like, it's not, ignoring the fact that you would still need a bunch of time to even build that production. Like, let's say you try to do it. You're like, okay, we're going to make all the coffee Americans need here in the US. That will take years. That would take years. Don't even get me started on vanilla. Like, I don't even think it's feasible to grow that much vanilla in the States. Denims, how long would it take to move Hawaii to Ohio? 2 to 3 months? It's fine, Denims. I'm going to start growing mangoes in Ohio. How long could it take? 2 to 3 months? Oh my God. Trees have to come to age. There's also a question about like how much land you would need to even grow these things, right? It's a banana farm, Denims. How much could a banana farm cost? $10. Why don't we just grow all of our cars here too? Oh my fucking God. To explain again, chat, just to be very clear, when it comes to like trade, if we cannot reasonably make that good in bulk, and it doesn't make sense for us to make that good in bulk, we shouldn't make that good in bulk, and we should allow instead other countries to make it, and we can buy it for pretty cheap. It just doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't make any sense to try and, oh my God. It's so frustrating because this is like this is like Econ 101. Like, this is such basic shit that when it comes to trading, at least of like natural resources, both countries are better off by the trade. Objectively, both countries are better off by the trade. When it comes to labor-intensive goods that can be produced by both nations, now it gets more complicated. Generally speaking, both countries will be better off, but the people in the countries will be worse off. The lowest paid workers will be worse off. And that's still not an always, right? Labor is where things change a little bit. When it comes to just natural resources that are available in a country versus natural resources that are just not available in other countries, it literally doesn't make any sense at all to tariff those goods. It doesn't make any sense.
If they're a regressive tax and they're bad, then why are they doing it to us? You're retarded. You're going to be losing out on thousands of jobs if these companies just don't trade with America anymore. You think that the countries are just going to stop trading with America? Trade with America? You're retarded. You're going to be losing out on thousands of jobs if these companies just don't trade with America anymore. You think that the countries are just going to stop trading with America? China would like a word.
The entire purpose that Trump has been fucking stressing with the tariffs is that these companies will stop sending their goods here because it's no longer financially viable, which would force us to ramp up production in the US. That was the basis of the tariff. That was literally what Trump said. That's what Trump said. You have no clue what you're talking about. You have no clue about vertical farming and importing coffee plants fully grown. What economists have been talking about for literally months now with regard to tariffs is that blanket tariffs are a terrible economic decision for everyone involved. You have to invest prior to the tariffs so that if we decide we want to grow a bunch of coffee beans here in the US, we can import them, import the fully grown coffee plants, which I'm sure there's a lot of sellers in the exporting of fully grown coffee plants for starters. Let's just talk about that. But you would have to invest before placing the tariffs. And then you can place the tariffs. Brahma farmer, this shit is impossible.
Hey, smiley face.
Vertical farming is one of those things that's like, it's really cool. And on paper, it's really cool. But in practice, actually getting it to work is very fickle and very expensive. Not to mention the fact that if you want to be growing coffee beans here in a climate where coffee beans aren't meant to grow, now you have to build giant greenhouses for all the coffee that Americans consume.
Don't worry. I'm sure Target is just going to open a garment factory instead of raising prices and waiting for the tariffs to go away.
You are finally getting smart. We have plenty of land, unused land all over the place. Do you know how long it takes to build a vertical farm? Do you know how long it takes to build a greenhouse? Days. Days. It takes days, guys. Oh my God. How long could it take to build a banana farm, Michael? 10 days? This motherfucker imagines it the way that, like, you go to a UPS and you're like, when will it get there? Like 2 to 3 business days? And they're like, yeah, about. He thinks we can just do that with, like, an entire banana farm. An entire coffee bean farm. I don't even know how people like that. I don't know how people like that, like, remember to breathe, dude. You're a moron. You have no clue what you're talking about. If it's modular and prefab, you have 100 works. It takes days. You have zero clue how the world really works. I'm gonna be honest, chat, I can't tell if this is like divorced 40-year-old that's spending his Sunday day drinking or teenager. It's like a 50-50 like coin flip here on this one. We can't even house the homeless yet this fool wants to house the banana and coffee. You don't understand. The houses aren't prefabbed and modular, okay? God, dude. God bless you, man. God bless you. It's also like a fundamental misunderstanding of how, again, like economics works. Like the thing is, economic policy dictates that when countries have a natural abundance of resources and just land that is more suitable or climate that's more suitable for one resource versus another resource or one crop versus another crop, it is just more profitable for both states to trade. It benefits both countries equally. Well, maybe not equally. Usually the country that is importing is hurt, but the benefit is outweighed if that country can export, which most countries are built on something that they don't just exist with nothing, right? Most countries are exporting goods, either manufacturing, labor, etc. Comparative advantage, yes. And that's why currently that's the current business model. That's why free trade and the invisible hand has like dictated the global economy for forever, right? Because again, at the very least when it comes to materials, natural resources, climate that's more suitable for X, Y, or Z, it's better to trade. Labor is where it gets more complicated. Clearly, you just have to go to your local Walmart, buy a prefabbed coffee bean factory, and you can 3D print your own bananas. This is 2025. Oh, God. If tariffs are meant to grow domestic industry, why is Trump telling other countries to zero out their tariffs and turn the entire planet into a free trade zone? Hey, stop trying to make sense of it. Stop. How dare you? Stop it. Yeah, and this really gets to like the root of what I'm talking about here. And now instead we should use a crazy amount of resource inputs for an unnatural crop so that the price is high regardless. Think about like even just people, your yard, how people have started moving towards planting vegetation, I guess, that is native to the land. It just requires less maintenance because the environment's already suited for it. Trying to grow grass in a desert so you can have like a grass lawn is just not worth it because the amount of water that you have to use to maintain it is ridiculous. So a lot of people have started moving towards planting native crops or like, again, not crops, vegetation in their yards because it's more efficient. That environment's already suited for that specific vegetation, right? In the same way, every single addition in cost and every single addition in the input to be able to start growing bananas or coffee beans here, that makes the cost of it go up and up and up and up to the point where it's almost not worth it to do it here. So let's say we spend the next 5 years let's just say for coffee. Americans can go without bananas. It's fine. Except for that one guy that has to do his morning routine with the Saratoga, Ashton Hall. Okay, but whatever. Let's just talk about it for a second. We can make without bananas. We're good. Coffee. I think most Americans really enjoy their coffee. I think it was like 3 in 4 Americans have coffee like at least once a day. Which is a pretty high number. Let's say we build multiple giant greenhouses. We dedicate a lot of resources to making this crop able to grow, because normally it cannot grow in this environment. We grow all of the fucking giant vertical farms, which there's a reason why current farming doesn't utilize vertical farming. It's because it's very expensive and it's not really feasible, and it's way more simple to just grow on the land. It doesn't scale as well. We'll get into it in a little bit. So you dedicate all these resources. I think now normally like you can get like a shitty bag of coffee beans for like $6, a normal sized coffee bean bag, like a pound. Maybe like some really nice stuff, it's like 20 bucks. Let's just call it 10. Let's just call it 10 even. All of the extra resources, all of the special fertilizer that we would need to make the dirt more hospitable for that plant, all of the resources in greenhouses to be able to grow it here, all of the resources in vertical farming to grow it here, all of that is going to increase the cost of it. And then you take a bag that's normally like 10 bucks and now it's like 20 bucks or 30 bucks or 40 bucks. And now suddenly if you want coffee, you can only get the coffee that's grown in America, but because it's so expensive to grow it in America because this climate isn't made for coffee, now if you want it, it's expensive as fuck. And this isn't even talking about the fact that certain crops are just unbelievably finicky. I talked about this yesterday with regard to vanilla bean. Vanilla bean comes from a flower. I actually never showed it, but here. I want to get like a good photo that like really, maybe we can show like, maybe there's a video of it. Let me see. It's actually pretty hard to find this. I want you guys to see like what it looks like because it's actually unbelievably annoying. Vanilla bean, maybe this one? But it's also really cool. One sec. Wait, hold. Okay, I'm struggling to find it, but that's okay. It's from a flower. That's the TLDR. And it's also like unbelievably fickle. If you've grown any flowers before, you know that growing flowers is so difficult and unbelievably fickle to grow because they're fucking flowers. They need a particular climate and they need a lot of attention and they need a lot of care. And it's very easy to have your entire fucking crop decimated off of like a variety of things. Oh, did you send this video? Wait,
vanilla
orchids
is
are
the world's
picky.
Second most expensive spice.
Ah, I didn't mean to post it. Value of vanilla we see here today is about 2.3 million euros. Holy.
And the East African island of Madagascar produces roughly 80% of the global supply. Here, farmers have to pollinate 40 million orchids that only bloom for one day a year.
If you pull, sorry, wait. If you pull suddenly, it will literally crush itself and cannot become a vanilla bean.
Only then will a vanilla bean or pod grow. Inside are the seeds and oils used in popular desserts. But Madagascar is still one of the poorest countries in the world.
Volatility of the vanilla prices, this bust and boom, creates such a toxic environment there.
Farmers can earn more when the price of vanilla is high, but rampant inflation often follows. And the big bucks attract thieves, who attack farmers and steal crops. Yeah. Today, farmers arm themselves to defend their vanilla. Farmers can plunge into extreme poverty when prices are low. The government has tried to stabilize the price, but it's backfired. And now global customers are turning to other countries for cheaper vanilla. As locals fight to protect Madagascar's green gold, they worry how much more the land, and this crop can take.
Crazy. Anyways, the idea that you can immediately start growing this in America, first of all, we don't have the climate, so you'd have to build giant greenhouses for it, which is unbelievably expensive, which would already make one of the most expensive spices more expensive, which would automatically make anything that uses vanilla more expensive. So we'll just, okay, sure, why not? But the idea that you can train all of these people to be able to do this, like what, in the course of 2 or 3 months, and that you could suddenly start growing all of these in the course of 2 or 3 months, that there are countries that are selling fully viable vanilla bean plants as if they wouldn't automatically just start using that to make more profit. Like it's not feasible. It's not realistic. And it's also a waste of our time and energy and money because we will never be able to produce it at the cost that they produce it at because we don't have the climate for it. Anyways, I don't want to harp too long on it. You guys get the idea. Cinnamon also. Yep.
Their entire economy is built off of America. And if Trump cuts them off and doesn't do that, they're going to fall apart. And it's going to be a lot worse than any tariff that we can do to them. That's it. And so anyway, yeah, that's not what it's going to be. Not all countries? No. But some of them definitely that will happen. And so, yeah, people are mad that we're still only tariffing half of what they do to us. Well, the thing is that he was including the currency valuation as well into that number. So that's the reason why the numbers and the values were different. That's kind of what I would assume. And the Canadian Steel's already losing jobs. Yeah, does it get tiring explaining things to retards? No, not really. I mean, the problem is that, and this is a big issue that a lot of people have, and the main weakness that a lot of these people have is that they're not able to really see things from the point of view of an average person. So a big thing for average people is that the value of stocks and the value of companies, like these perspective, like theoretical trillions of dollars, these numbers don't exist in the mind of an average person. This is all just like bullshit, fake, made up numbers. What these people care about is the money in and the money out on a monthly basis. And that's what really matters more than anything. And so if that's what's changing and that's what matters, then that's what's really going to appeal to an average audience of just like normal people, right? Yeah, it's everyone in 401ks. No, definitely. But there's a lot of people who don't even have that.
Let me see the number. 70 million Americans have a 401k. Sure, man. Sure. Those people, they can go fuck themselves. Yeah, they can go. That's fine. It's fine. A quarter of Americans, who gives a fuck about those people? Yeah, who cares about those? Those people don't matter. Doesn't matter. Oh my God. And it doesn't change the fact that even if you don't have a 401k, okay, even if you don't, what about the fact that you're going to lose your job? What about the fact that everything that you want to buy is suddenly now way more expensive, or you can't buy it because they're no longer exporting it to our country anymore? Let me buy the American Nintendo.
And I'm watching you just to what stupid Americans think, to find out what they think. Yeah, that's it. And tariffs quite literally raise prices on actual goods, though. Well, that's the thing, is that Trump is basically, this is what I think that he's doing.
Love this guy. He has no idea what he's talking about, but he wings it so hard, most confidently, idiotic takes with absolutely no thought behind them. Yeah, you just don't get it, man. You just like don't get it. You just don't understand, man. You just don't understand what it's like to be the smartest person in the room and know that Trump knows what he's doing and we should just trust the plan.
Is that you're absolutely right that tariffs will raise prices on the goods. But if tariffs would only raise prices on the goods and all the tariffs do are punish their own citizens, then why do these countries threaten tariffs back at us? Well, it's because it can be used as a weapon also. That's the reason why. So obviously, like, people always keep using this argument, oh, well, Trump is using these tariffs and like it's only going to hurt Americans. Well, if Trump is only going to hurt Americans with tariffs, then why are all these other countries, why were they peacocking around about putting tariffs back on us? Do they want to hurt their own citizens too? Obviously not. But this clear, like, weird fucking distinction here, it's bad for both. I know.
This is such an effective trade strategy. Threaten tariffs on other people so they threaten tariffs on you so you both drop them.
No, and that's the truth, is that it is bad for both of them. And Trump is relying on these companies, or not companies, countries, their risk aversion. Basically, this is going to hurt them more than it will hurt us. And they will be too afraid to hurt themselves that badly. So they will let us take advantage of them, or in some way or another have a better or a more fair trade deal. That's it. And so that's basically what the goal, that, well, sure, it is. Well, why do you think Canada and Mexico aren't going to do it now? And Vietnam?
You're threatening to hurt your economy in the short term and in some instances in the long term and their economy. So they counter, like, bluff. And then you both drop the tariffs. Like, what are we doing here?
Isn't going to do it. Why do you think that is? Yeah, why? Like, I mean, it's obviously why.
It's obviously why.